Should you rent or should you not rent? In this video, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of renting and dive deep into both scenarios. So first, the pros of renting. One of the first pros is maintenance. If something goes wrong with the washer, the dryer, the bathtub is plugged, anything like that, all you have to do is have a simple maintenance request, and they'll go ahead, the property management company or whoever owns the property more than likely will go ahead and take care of it, and you don't really have the responsibilities to do it yourself, maybe not even pay the payments that come along with the repair. So that's the first thing. Flexibility with renting. So let's just say you don't know how long you're going to live in the area, or maybe you just want to live on the north side of town, the south side of town, east, west. Try things out. If you're in a bigger city, which side of town you really want to be on. That's something huge. Or how long do you even want to be in the area? Now, if you're renting, the flexibility is just like, oh, you know what, I'm going to break my lease, I'm out, or I'm going to wait for my lease to be done, I'm out. So there's a lot of flexibility that comes with renting that's pretty huge. Next pro is, it's not your asset. The way you take care of something that's yours, that you own, and versus something that you don't own is completely different. And, if you don't really have to worry about things happening, things falling apart, because it's not really yours. Not saying it's a good thing, but I'm saying you have the ease of mind of you're not treating it like it's your own property. Because if it was your own property, you'd be probably micromanaging a lot of different things. Versus if it's not yours, you don't have to worry about because it's not your asset. The next thing is there's no mortgage default. So let's just say you miss payments. Not saying that you want to, but you miss payments, rent, you get evicted. Okay, that happens. But if it was a house, you go foreclosure on the loan. That's just a completely nightmare scenario. Versus if you're just living in an apartment, you just want to leave. There's different ways to go about that if you want to change your location. So next thing, I think a pro of renting doesn't really get talked about much is you learn a lot of responsibilities. So you just move out of your parents' house, you're learning how to actually live on your own. Maybe you just got out of college, you're learning how to live on your own as well. You're starting to learn responsibilities of, oh, okay, so maybe I have to look for things for the washer and dryer, make a maintenance request. Okay, so now I have to, live by myself and to start really learning all the different things. So that's something that you could do living on your own and going that route and experimenting on something you don't own versus experimenting on something you do own, and something messes up, it's your responsibility. So if you do want to move, you don't have to sell your property to move. So let's just say you run through a scenario, you're 3 months into your rent, you just want to get up here, you're sick of the drive from the south side of town, you want to live up in the north side of town. You don't have to list your house for sale, go through all that nightmare that could happen sometimes when trying to sell a property and also buy a property at the same time. You can just simply, the lease is done, maybe get out early, break the lease, wait for the lease to be done, and just go. So and you don't have to sell anything in that process. So that's pretty huge. There's no property tax, so you're just living in the thing. You don't have to worry about, paying property tax along with your mortgage. Well, it is including your mortgage. That's true. It's a whole different scenario. But you don't have to worry about that. That's one crucial thing, because property taxes could be through the roof. That could be a big payment. And, it could be also lower payments than a mortgage if you're not ready to buy a house. Okay? And if you're not ready to buy a house, that's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's timeline is different. You don't need to rush into something you're not ready for. Okay, so that's some of the pros. Now, let's roll on to some of the cons of renting, because there's pros and cons of every scenario, so we're going to talk about some cons. So you're not building equity when you're renting. You're paying your payment. Put that next. You're not putting money towards an asset. So you're basically just burning it up. Like if you had a house, had a mortgage, the money you're paying to the mortgage, you're putting into an asset that you can sell later. You're not doing that in this scenario. And maybe you have bad neighbors, which you can have bad neighbors when you own a house too. But you're, living in an apartment potentially, and loud upstairs tenants, loud downs below you on the next floor tenants, and then side to side tenants are really loud, annoying, dogs, babies. That could be really annoying. If you have bad tenants, it could be absolute nightmare. You're just not having like a home feeling. Like, you get done from work, you open up the front door, and it's just like, this isn't home. It's not like a home feeling. that you get when actually owning something versus you're just renting. Just like going back, if maybe you're going from college to an apartment, it's just kind of like the same feeling of you open up the door, I'm just back in the dorms. There's no like, this is my home feeling. So that's something to keep in mind. And the monthly payments that you're paying for your rent could potentially have a property that you like with the same pretty similar payment that you could actually own something, build equity in something, and sell something later, which could happen. And maybe if you're living in an apartment, there's no fenced backyard, so if you have dogs, you can't, let them out when you're at work or something. It could just, if you have pets, that could be something. And speaking of pets, maybe you can't even have pets in the apartment you're going to rent out. Maybe it's hard to find an apartment that you do roll with the apartment. There's no pets. Well, then that's if you have dogs, cats, you have to have that conversation. Like, what do I do? And the landlord could raise rents. That's something to keep in mind also. And you can't make any changes. So maybe that's depending on the scenario. Maybe you just want different wall colors or something. So you can't actually like paint walls, or just want to make some minor improvement or adjustment, which may not even be a good thing, but it's maybe you're just a hands-on person and wants to go that route. So these are some of the pros and cons of renting. Hope you found this video valuable. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're on any other platform, like and follow for more content. And thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.